Dear students, here in the last video we learn about the causes of the freedom struggle of 1857. We also learn in the last video how did the Britishers crush the struggle of 1857. And in it we learn the Indians, they became failure or they never succeeded in it. Though they captured Delhi, but they cannot retain it for the long period of time. Just in a 1 month only, it was conquered by the Britishers once again. And this Bahadur Shah, he was arrested. Bahadur Shah, he was the Mughal Sardar, and he was proclaimed by the sepoys, by the soldiers, as a Emperor of India. But now, in this video we will learn causes of failure of the struggle. Causes of failure of the struggle of 1857. It became unsuccessful due to the following reasons. Means just in a 1 year, means from 1857 to 1858, in this 1 year's period only, these Britishers, they crushed the revolt or they crushed the struggle of 1857. And after that, the causes of the struggle came in front, and the peoples or the local kings, they were thinking over why did they failed in the 1857 struggle. The first is the struggle was not comprehensive. Not comprehensive means not on the large scale, though it was in the every part of our country, but it was not at a time. Means they or the rebellions or the people, they did not make any future planning for it. Planning for just mean it was not comprehensive, not on the large scale. The struggle did not take place simultaneously. Simultaneously means at a time. At a time or at one time only. Means the initially it was started on the 10th of May, but later on few of the divisions of soldiers, they started it on the 9th of May only, means 1 day before, when the Mangal Pandey was hanged by the Britishers. The soldiers of Meerut division, they started the revolt 1 day before the planning. It was means simultaneously, means not at a one time all over India. Its intensity was more severe in North India, but Rajputana, Punjab, some part of Bengal and Northwest India remained aloof. Aloof means separate. They did not took the active part in this struggle of 1857, though it was the intensity of this struggle, it was more in North India, but these regions like Rajputana, Punjab and some part of West Bengal or Northwest, they remained aloof. The kings, they remained aloof. It was the first cause of failure, that is the struggle was not comprehensive. Second, lack of central leadership. There was no commonly accepted leader to fight against the British. Lack of central leadership means common leader was not there for this whole struggle. Only Bahadur Shah, they proclaimed him as a Emperor of India, but in the other region there was no any leader. Due to there was no uniformity in the struggle against British. It's the second, that commonly accepted leader was not there. Lack of central leadership, it was the second reason. Third, most of the feudatory princes remained aloof. Feudatory means Jahagirdars or Zamindars or the local kings. Feudatory princes remained aloof means they keep themselves separate or they did not took the part in the revolution. Just as the common people suffered due to British rule, similarly the princes also were suffering, but except a few other remained faithful to British. But then also it was on the very large scale. Then also some of the local rulers or feudatory princes or Jahagirdars or Zamindars, they remain aloof or they remain separate or they remain neutral from this war or they remained faithful to the British. It was the third reason of failure or cause of failure that the feudatory princes remain aloof. Third, lack of military tactics. Means all the soldiers were brave, but lack of military tactics means in the soldiers there were no disciplines or many confusions were there. Everyone is trying to fight for from their side only, means proper planning, confusion, divisions were not there. Only they were showing their anger towards the British, but their proper planning or the tactics were not there. Indian soldiers were brave but did not use tactics, right? Though every or Indian soldiers were brave, but they did not use the tactics to fight against the British. They captured Delhi but could not retain it. Herein they captured, we have learned, by shooting after the death of Mangal Pandey, they marched on Delhi or they captured it, but they did not retain it or they did not save it for a long time. They did not kept their rules over Delhi for a long time. Similarly, the Indians rebels had limited armed supply. Rebels or sepoys or the people who took part in the revolution or in the revolt, they did not have a armed or weapons. Very limited armed they had. The British had economic strength, disciplined army, enough stock of latest arms and experienced army generals. Now it was the difference. Only because of that our sepoys, they did not get the success in this. The British had economic strength, means the Britishers had a good economic strength. The army was in discipline, enough stock of latest arms or weapons, and experienced army generals means leaders. Experienced leaders were there, disciplined army were there, economic strength was good, and enough stock of latest arms. These are the main reasons. And Indians, they do not have the leadership, they do not have the well economic strength, disciplines were not there in army, and limited armed stocks were there. Since transport and communication was in the hands of British, their movement was swift. Due to this, the Indian sepoys could not succeed. Wars are fought not only based on bravery but also through military strategies. Means though you are brave, then also you can't win the war if you do not have the disciplines, if you do not have the right coordination among your divisions, or for that the military strategy should be good, then only we will be able to won the war. And same these things, the Britishers had all these things, and the Indians, they were just fighting as a common people, and they do not have the latest or modern latest arms and modern weapons they do not have, or they do not have the experienced leaders also. Just they were fighting only. And it's another cause, international situation favorable for Britishers. This is also the important cause of the failure of the struggle. The Crimean War with Russia was just over. Crimean War, it was between Russia and Britishers. The British won the war, and this Crimean War was won by Britishers. They had trade relation with different countries in the world. The naval strength of Britishers was vast, whereas the Indians rebels were isolated. Isolated means they kept separate. They kept separate the rebels or the leaders or the revolutionaries of our Indians were kept separate by the Britishers at the time when the country needs their help. So it was the another cause of failure, that is international situation favorable for Britishers. Crimean War was won by Britishers or by the British. So because of that, the trade relation with different countries in the world and the naval strength was also vast. So these are some of the causes of the failure of the struggle. And for the point of exam, these causes of failure of the struggle of 1857 are very important. Main struggle was not comprehensive, lack of central leadership, most of the feudatory princes remained aloof, lack of military tactics, and international situation favorable for Britishers. These are the main points.